6 points. Were you pretty happy with that?
Yeah, I think anytime you don't let the other team in the end zone, that's a good thing. Once again, we played good in some areas, not as good in some. We got a lot of improvement to do, but I like where the guys are at. I like how they're working and they're not afraid to take criticism right now. And even though they won, not afraid to take criticism and try to get better.
You guys are top 5 nationally in turnovers forced this year. How much pride as a defense do you guys play?
I think the guys are embracing the fact that that's important to our staff. It's important to the defensive staff, also important to the offensive staff. Coach Frost talks about taking care of the football and getting turnovers. We talk about getting turnovers a lot. We drill it, and I think the guys are embracing that. So I'm happy that that's happening. I hope it keeps happening. I don't want to, knock on wood. We don't talk about it too much in the media here, and then all of a sudden it stops. But that helps our football team tremendously.
What kind of problems they present?
One more time?
Can you talk about Illinois and what kind of problems they present?
Yeah, I think obviously they've got a good scheme for quarterback run. The kid last year was a really good football player. He could run the football, almost a running back there. I think the new quarterback they have is a little better at working the system. He can pull it and be dangerous on the quarterback run, but he also can get the ball distributed to where he needs to. So I think he's a little bit better in the pass game than they had the previous year. But they have a nice system. They have some difficult passes to defend, some difficult run concepts to defend, and they make you play rules ball and get your eyes in the right spot at all times.
How important was it to get some of the younger guys out there Saturday and just get them on the field?
I think that was huge. Probably it's the fine line of growing up as a football team. When do you start subbing those guys out? Maybe if you're to the point where we'd like to be here, down the road, you get those guys out earlier and let them go out with just a little bit smaller of a lead and go operate and do some things. But it was good to have the ones finish a game off. It was good to get some of those young guys in there. Obviously, Braxton Clark got a pick, and that's good. He got a little taste, so now he's probably watching extra film now that he got a little extra pick. But it's great to get those guys in there.
It sounds like Braxton was pretty emotional after he got the pick. Did you kind of see that, or what do you think maybe led to that for him?
No, I think he was emotional. I think any time a young guy gets in and makes any play, it's huge. And when you make a pick as a DB, it's a really big thing. The only thing we talked to him about is he could have scored a touchdown, right? If he runs the play like we talk about all the time, we score another one, and next time he's going to do that. So it was good film. Good and the bad part of that. Great for that kid to get in the football game and get a pick and make a great play, but that probably helped his confidence tremendously.
How helpful was JoJo in that game? You guys have now sort of have the nickel, and he's the guy there. How is his versatility help in a game like that? How much better is he getting?
Yeah, I think JoJo, like I said before, you can call him the nickel. You call him whatever you want. I don't know what to call him most of the time, but he can operate in some of those nickel packages where he's more of a quote-unquote nickel DB. He can operate in base where he's a Sam, so it gives you an opportunity to run your even and odd stuff with the same personnel on the field, which I think is always probably a little bit harder for an offense when they've got to prepare for both packages. They don't see us subbing in, a true DB and say, all right, here we go, 4 down. It's going to be these coverages, these fronts. When he's in the game, it's all holds, no holds barred. So I think he gives us a lot of advantages just from a scheme perspective.
He seems pretty natural at that ability to tackle with kind of sweep at the leg. Is that something you guys teach, or is he just good at that?
Yeah, so we teach different kind of tackles, and he's been really effective. Those type of tackles are when the ball carrier is running away from your leverage, and he's been really good at doing that. He's special teams, it shows up for him, and in defense it shows up for him. But he's a pretty good tackler overall. I think he understands the different types of tackles and what his leverage is.
On that goal line stand, what did you see your team grow, both confidence-wise and maybe scheme-wise?
Yeah, I think, do we want to get down on the one? No, absolutely not. But that's a huge play for a defense. That's a huge play to grow up, especially for some of those young guys. I mean, you had, Damian Daniels in there, and then Eli Sullivan gets put in the football game. So not only is it big scheme-wise, is it big for our confidence, but also those guys see some players that are not quote-unquote starters out there making big-time plays. So just the trust in those guys, the confidence in those guys, the confidence that we can be put in any situation and get the job done, it was huge for our team.
How does the way that you practice prepare the twos and the threes to come in when maybe there's an injury?
Yeah, I think the way we practice, you're always developing players because it's never like when you're in the NFL, we had 12 reps in the team period, and the starters got 8, and the twos got 4, and the threes got 0. Here we're getting equal amount of reps for the ones and twos, and then the threes are getting reps too. Not all the threes, but the threes that are with the travel party. But everybody on the team is getting equal reps. It's not 75-25. It's 50-50. So those guys are getting as many reps as the other guys. That develops our team, the way we rotate players, just because of the nature of our offense. We're in there for 90-plus plays. When we keep rotating players, that grows those kids up too. So I think Coach Frost does a really good job with the developmental piece of our team.
The Northern Illinois coach was really complimentary of Darian Daniels. Looking back on that game, what was he doing that made him so good?
Well, I think he's obviously a 340-pound man that it's really hard to block, really hard to move, but he's also pretty bouncy. So when he's running, twists and games and all those kind of things, he can move like a 280-pound guy. So he's very quick, very aggressive, and he's stout at the point of attack. And for a big guy, he can rush the passer too. So I think he's difficult to handle.
What's the key to winning on the road? It seems like Russ has had some problems, and also keeping the lead, I guess, on the road.
Yeah, the key to winning on the road is coming out really fast, which we've done, and then finishing the football game, which we haven't on the road. So the big focal point from last week with Coach Frost was finishing a football game. That's probably why we left some of the older guys in towards the end and didn't get the subs in till late in the game. But we want to teach these kids we have to keep our foot on the gas, both offensively and defensively. It can't be prevent mode. We know they're going to become one-dimensional at some point in time if we can get the lead that we want. So we have to be able to stand tall and shut this game down if you want to be a great defense.
Have you seen that in the last couple of weeks?
I think they've embraced it. We haven't been truly tested yet. It's going to take one where we're up by 10 points or whatever in the fourth quarter, and we've got to stand up and stand tall and take that game over. I think that's when it's going to really happen once we get it done. So have I seen it? I've seen them talk about it, embrace it, but I haven't seen it on the field yet. So,
Coach Frost praised Illinois' running back on film. What challenges does he present? What do you remember from him last year?
Yeah, I think he's, and I don't watch the teams that we're not playing, so I haven't seen the film. But I know there's a couple other good running backs in the league, but I think he's right there with all of them. I mean, he's a really, really good football player. He can cut on a dime. He's fast. He's hard to tackle. He can do a lot of things in the pass game, and they do a nice job of when there's two backs in the backfield, not just getting him the football and making the other guy the back, but he'll go block willingly and lead block for the other guy too. So he poses some scheme issues, and he's a very, very talented young man.